Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Dion's Daily Dose. Today is Sunday, June 7th, 2020. So this election is over. The primary is done and over with. Moving forward, right? We're going ahead. But what are the plans? What are we going to do? First of all, let me apologize for our president right here. I haven't formulated yet what he's going to be holding. I do like having him back there. I think he keeps a watchful eye over me and everything. But I don't know. We had unfortunately, I couldn't find anything good to hold the sign, so I ended up using a little bit of duct tape, and we had a hard time getting it off without destroying the sign. That the board that he's holding. I gotta find something to put. There. I haven't decided yet. I've got a really good logo without the for Congress part that Jack made for me. Jack, thanks for joining us. Shannon, good to see you. Thank you. I think I might have that made and put there, but we'll see. It's a work in progress. I'm still trying to port everything over from the campaign to the show and all of that. I do have, I sent out a like last night for at Dion's Daily Dose on Facebook. I'm going to try to get Twitter and everything set up for it. So let me address some things. I can't give anything away too much yet because nothing's official, but there are some plans to potentially do something else politically. So I don't want to just disband the For Congress page because it can be ported over if I decide to run for something else. I got a lot of content, a lot of likes. There's a lot of good stuff there. But I have some special things for you tonight. Some information that was shared with me, and I think it's important that everyone's aware. I shared it earlier for those of you who did not get a chance to check it out. This election, as much as I'd like to be done with this election's not done with me. Let me show you what I mean. Heather Stevens is running for LaPorte County clerk, and there we go. Regional News covered the story on this. 89 absentee ballots are missing now as well. Cool Spring 3 precinct. As a growing bipartisan movement calls for an independent investigation into LaPorte County's primary election, now a candidate for county clerk alleges that the county failed to count at least 89 absentee ballots. This election is nuts, ladies and gentlemen. Nuts. It gets worse. On Sunday, Republican candidate for LaPorte County Clerk of the Circuit Court and current co-director of the LaPorte County Board of Voters Registration, Heather Stevens, very, very nice lady, by the way, I might add. She is my pick for county clerk, just so you know, released a statement calling attention to the lack of mail-in absentee ballots being recorded in the Cool Spring 3 precinct. The final uncertified results released Thursday by the county shows 0 mail-in votes being cast in a precinct with 978 registered voters. According to Stevens, an Indiana absentee ballot activity report run on June 1st showed 68 Democrat ballots along with 21 Republican ballots had been returned and scanned as received for the Cool Spring 3 precinct into the Indiana voter registration system by the clerk's office. Additional ballots were likely received by the county after the June 1st report, meaning the number that was not counted could be even higher. It was unclear why county election officials didn't compare the number of absentee ballots received with the number counted. The apparent misstep is yet another in a series that is increasingly undermining public trust in the county's election system. Between Wednesday and Thursday this week, 12,643 votes fell off the county's preliminary election results. This was later attributed to a, quote, procedural human error made while aggregating the results used for initial reporting. What does that mean exactly? Procedural human error made while aggregating the results used for the initial reporting. What does that mean? Somebody made a mistake. We know that, right? Procedural human error. Human error is a human mistake. Procedural. They made a mistake with the procedure, right? While aggregating the results used for initial reporting. So, I like that, Dave. Dave says, picture of Pelosi with the circle, no symbol. Yeah, the slash through it. Yeah, no Pelosi. I actually kind of dig that. Maybe we'll work on that. Yeah. Speaking of, let me go back to that. If any of you, right, out there can think of a really good symbol for Dion's Daily Dose, a logo, or even something to put on our president back there, let me know. I'm open to all suggestions. I think I really like Dave's suggestion, having Pelosi with the slash through it. I think that'd be pretty awesome. But that's not bad. I dig that. Let's see if anybody can come up with something better, because that's currently the reigning champ right there. So somebody messed up is what it comes down to. The LaPorte County Election Board has been otherwise silent on numerous other questions that remain, such as how an additional 114 machine votes were added between Wednesday and Thursday. Let me make sure that everyone understands this. This is after the election was over, right? Tuesday was the election, right? So between the 3rd and the 4th, so between Wednesday and Thursday, 114 votes by the machine were added. Why 41 voting machines appear as not reported in the election results, or how the original error was missed before the results were released. Candidates have accused the county of failing to get absentee ballots sent out on time. The regional news found the county to have continued to accept absentee ballots after the statutory noon of Election Day deadline. It also appeared that election officials failed to maintain an even party balance of absentee ballot counters and failed to follow state law dictating the procedure for the tabulation of absentee ballots. The county drew scrutiny earlier this week from State Rep Jim Pressel for taking days to calculate results, even though data showed the county knew weeks in advance that it would be receiving thousands more absentee ballots needed to be processed this year. Democrat State Rep Tim Gust, Republican County Commissioner candidate Joe Haney also both issued statements calling for an investigation into the election. Quote, I know that multiple candidates from both political parties have complaints about how this election has been run, and I believe that most of those complaints are valid. The voters and the candidates of this county deserve better. This is simply unacceptable, said Stevens of the situation. The situation in the Cool Spring 3 precinct has also attracted the condemnation of at least one candidate who lives in the district. Quote, I am very frustrated that somehow my vote has yet to be counted, shared County Council candidate Earl Cunningham, who lives in Cool Spring 3. Quote, my wife and I both voted and delivered our ballots well before Election Day, and yet the results don't show any mailed absentee votes being cast in my precinct. A man who is running for office, he is running for county council, did not have his vote counted according to the paperwork in this election. Does anybody else see a problem here? Shannon asks, what are you looking for? A slogan or a brand picture? All of it. All of it. No, specifically what I was talking about was something to put back here on Trump right there that he could be hanging on to versus I had the sign up there, which I took that down too, peeled some paint. I got to repaint this. Again, do not listen, ladies and gentlemen, pro tip for life. Do not use duct tape when you're sticking something to the wall. So, my bad, right? Anyway, and I wouldn't mind, just so you know, if someone wants to come up with a great slogan, a brand for Dion's Daily Dose, whatever, I am not going to turn anything down. I appreciate. Let me tell you something. The reason, and I'm going to direct this to everybody out there. The reason that I won my county isn't me. It's you. It's you, ladies and gentlemen, and I recognize that. I am just a candidate. I am just one person trying to stand up and say, hey, at least my name was on the ballot, right? We desperately need systematic changes in this country, and the only way we're going to bring that about is by supporting people who speak the truth, supporting people who stand up and say, nah, the reason I did so well, the reason I got almost 30% of the votes in my county is because you, ladies and gentlemen, stood up and said, hey, listen to this guy. He makes sense. So I greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I am still sending out thank yous. If I happen to miss you and haven't gotten to you yet, it's coming. And you're absolutely right. Dave says this is just one county. This is just, and let's face it, LaPorte County, as far as population goes, is down there when it comes to first district. Porter County, Lake County. We know there's issues in Lake County. We just don't have the proof yet. But it is what it is. And you're absolutely right. What are we going to see nationwide as these primaries continue, as we see widespread ballots just appearing, votes disappearing? I mean, I went from, I think the initial thing was like 1,400 votes in LaPorte County, I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden it was gone, right? Half the votes disappeared. Something's off. And I'll talk more about that in just a second. But LaPorte County Election Board President Andrew Volz declined to comment on the matter. I'm sure he did. This article is part of the Regional News' ongoing coverage and investigation into the handling of the 2020 primary election. And we read the previous article. There is some crazy stuff going on right now. Have you seen this? I'm sure most of you have, but if you have not, Minneapolis City Council members announce intent to disband the police department, invest in proven community-led public safety. Proven community-led public safety. So look, here's what it comes down to, right? I'm going to do a full show on police, right? And all that stuff. But I'm going to tell you, as former law enforcement myself, I support law enforcement. I am also willing to call out issues where they exist. And there are issues, right? There are issues. No one pretends that our system is perfect, because it's not. It's far from perfect. Their perfection is unachievable. As human beings, we are imperfect creatures. Do I think that there could be big changes in order to help? Absolutely. But disbanding the police department completely? Oof. Oof. I don't know. If you haven't seen this, the move follows the police killing of George Floyd in more than a week of uprisings where hundreds of thousands of people around the world have protested against police violence and abusive police responses to the protests. On Sunday afternoon, a veto-proof majority of Minneapolis City Council members will announce their commitment to disbanding the city's embattled police department, which has endured relentless criticism in the wake of the police killing of George Floyd, an unarmed black man, on May 25th. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to make sure that you understand. Minneapolis is the department that's under fire right now for obvious reasons. The thing that no one is talking about, the thing that the loudest voices certainly are not talking about it. Minneapolis and the entire area, the entire department has been under Democrat control for a very long time, I'm not sure if you understand what that means. And I'm not trying to make this political. I'm really not. I just want everyone to understand that these policies that are in place, the oversight, all of the things that they're trying to achieve, it's all under leadership from the left that allegedly was working for their interests for many years. The systemic issues that exist in that department are due to who has been in charge for many years. My understanding, and I haven't seen this, I can't share this with you, but my understanding, and it's widely shared, so I tend to kind of believe it, is that the officer that was arrested for the killing of George Floyd was actually Amy Klobuchar declined to prosecute him for a killing earlier of, my understanding is, a Native American. Had he been prosecuted, he wouldn't have been on the force in the first place. And there are tons of rumors and innuendos and, things that people are talking about. Could be this, could be that. This is going on, that's going on. One of the things that had gotten widely shared was that the license plate of the police cruiser said police, and that was supposed to, they don't say police. Turns out actually a lot of the Minneapolis police cars actually do say police, according to factcheck.org. I didn't go any further than that. We know which way fact check leans, but who knows? I will say that some policies vary across the country. I'm not going to get into this too much. I'm going to give you the link for it if you have not read it. One thing that I do think is very, very interesting, though, that I do want to get into from it, I'm going to show you. If you have not read it. So Jeremiah Ellison, right, says, we are going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department, dramatically rethink the city's approach to emergency response, cited the MPD's lengthy track record of misconduct and, quote, decades-long history of violence and discrimination, all of which are subjects of an ongoing Minnesota Department of Human Rights investigation as compelling justifications for the department's disbandment. We can resolve confusion over a $20 grocery transaction without drawing a weapon or pulling out handcuffs, Fletcher wrote. I agree with that. I will tell you that the militarization of our police is a definitive concern for me. When all these Bearcats and stuff were handed out to our local police departments, Michigan City got one. The police, here's the thing, though, and this is what a lot of people need to understand. They really need to understand this. The reason that these things were done is because our police are outgunned. They are outgunned. We have gang members with fully automatic weapons. We have cartels that are moving large amounts of illegal narcotics on our highways. We live in a major thoroughfare, crossroads of America, right? I'm not excusing it. I'm just telling you that's the reason. That's the reason that many of these police departments have been issued body armor, have been issued scary guns, have been issued Bearcats and things like that. Uh, I've spoken before about the need for community policing, about how when I was a kid, I knew the police officer that worked my block. You know, he would drive by, we'd talk, right? He'd come into the ice cream shop, he'd come into the little corner store all the time, right? When we're getting away from that. Steven, hey man, good to see you. So there are a lot of issues there, and here's the last thing that I want to show you about that article. And again, I'll link it here. I think I have it for you right now. There we go. This is the article itself. If you want to go and take a look, it doesn't always transfer to YouTube very well, but everything else. So here's the part that I'd like to point out right here. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry said last night that he opposed disbanding the police department at a protest organized and led by Black Visions Collective against police violence in the city. That answer earned him a thundering chorus of boos and chants of shame and go home, Jacob, go home. The New York Times called the scene a, quote, humiliation on a scale almost unimaginable outside of cinema or nightmare. Quote, the last Democratic mayor, Betsy Hodges, handled the murder of Jamar Clark poorly. We told her she was going to lose her job, and she did. Miski Noor, a Black Visions Collective organizer, said on Fry's refusal to disband the Minneapolis Police Department. He actually did do a lot to do reforms and whatnot. It gets into stuff about Philando Castile and all that stuff. But here's what I want people to understand right here. For years, now remember, ladies and gentlemen, this city has been Democrat run for a long time. For years, activists have argued that MPD has failed to actually keep the city safe. And city council members echoed that sentiment today during their announcement. MPD's record for solving serious crimes in the city is consistently low. For example, in 2019, Minneapolis police only cleared 50% of cases in which a person was killed. For the R word, the police department's solve rate is abysmally low. In 2018, their clearance rate for that was just 22%. In other words, 4 out of every 5 of those types of cases go unsolved in Minneapolis. Further casting doubt on the department's commitment to solving sexual assaults, MPD announced last year the discovery, this was in Minneapolis, remember, of 1,700 untested kits spanning 30 years, which officials said had been, what? Misplaced. 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 Yes, misplaced. Again, remember, Democrat run, Democrat led for many, many years. A couple of other quick things that I want to share with you. Raise your hand if you know who Shaun King is. SHAUN, Shaun King. He is apparently one of the organizers of, or the organizer of, Black Lives Matter. And he is speaking out. He makes a stunning observation about Democratic Party. Worst police brutality. Democratic activist Shaun King made a shockingly honest observation about the Democratic Party on Friday. King, who is known for his activism around racism and police brutality, denounced generic imperatives from leaders that voting is the process by which the Black community can receive criminal justice reform. That is because, as King observed, and I quote, Democrats control the cities that are guilty of the worst police brutality. Doesn't that sound familiar? Democrats from top to bottom are running the cities with the worst police brutality in America right now, King said. We voted for them. Minneapolis, for example, where the city where nationwide protests started in the wake of George Floyd's tragic death, is run by Democratic Mayor Jacob Frey, and the city council has 0 sitting Republicans, none. It is comprised of 12 Democrats and 1 member of the Green Party. In that city, police have rendered 44 people unconscious over the past 5 years with neck restraints similar to the one that killed Floyd. Meanwhile, another instance of excessive police force that went viral this week happened in a Democratic-controlled city. 2 Buffalo police officers have been criminally charged after they were caught on video shoving an elderly man, causing the man to hit his head on the sidewalk, resulting in his hospitalization. Buffalo's mayor is a Democrat, and the city council is comprised of Democrats only. Is anyone else shocked by this? Is anyone else surprised? I know I'm not. I pointed it out before. Unfortunately, and look, there are good people in the Democrat Party. There are bad people in the Democrat Party. There are good people in the Republican Party. There are bad people in the Republican Party as well. A letter behind or in front of your name does not make you a good or bad person. I want to make that perfectly clear. But their policies, the Democrat policies, are what has led to many of the things that we're having issues with today. It's unfortunate. And Stephen makes a good point. I'm sick of the Democrat standards, and I am absolutely sick of being labeled a racist for posting honest statistics. Look, that's all you hear anymore, right? It's this cacophony of racism. Does racism exist? Of course. I'm going to tell you something, right? When I was in high school and I looked up a girl, right, that I wanted to call, get her phone number, right? Remember, my first name is Dion, right? I would call, parents would answer. I would say, let's pick a name, Angie, right? Is Angie there? Who's calling? Dion. Click. Now, when my buddy Mike would call, no issue, no problem. Sure, hold on. Let me get her. Just saying. That said, we have made so much progress. We have come so far. I don't know if the proper narrative is being utilized on this, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. There's other things. There's one more thing that I really want you to see, and I'm interested in your take. This is not about me. This is you. Tell me what you think about this. I don't know if you've seen this, but what? Didn't pick wife's name. Yeah, no, I was in high school. I didn't know her, right? And she likes. Look, I'm gonna tell you, okay. She gets a kick out of pointing out our age difference whenever I talk about something like when I was in high school. She was like, because we're like I think 6 years apart, so she'll be like, when you were in high school, you could have cruised by the middle school, and there's my future wife. I'm like, that. Stop it. So yeah. And I agree, Dave. And this is what this is the point that we were trying to make with District 1. When the same issues never get solved in a city, a region, quit voting the same party in. What do you have to lose by going with the Republican Party in District 1? If the Democrat Party was the shining beacon of progressiveness and value and love that they claim, then the first district should be a shining beacon, especially Lake County, right? Anyway, so I'm going to share this with you. Let me know what you think, because this is an interesting, here we go. So Jim Banks and Todd Rokita. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Todd Rokita, he recently put his name in for Attorney General. Jim Banks should all know who he is, but so here we go. Social conservatives are fighting proposed changes to the Indiana Republican Party's platform that would drop wording that favors marriage between a man and a woman. The Republican Victory Committee, a group of elected officials and party activists, announced Monday it opposes changes friendly to same-sex couples and pushed by Governor Eric Holcomb's hand-picked GOP chairman, Kyle. So remember, Kyle will be appearing on the Portage GOP live stream very soon. I don't remember exactly what day, but I think that might be something interesting to bring up for those of you that will be watching it. The 2016 Republican Party platform states, quote, "We believe that strong families based on marriage between a man and a woman are the foundation of society." Now, that was the official 2016 Republican Party platform for the state of Indiana. The 2018 platform removes the man and woman part, stating, quote, the new one, "We believe that strong families are the foundation of society and that such families bring forth citizens capable of self-government, as well as properly motivated public servants so essential for a successful republic." So I'm going to give you just a second to compare, quote, "We believe that strong families based on marriage between a man and a woman are the foundation of society," or "We believe that strong families are the foundation of society and that such families bring forth citizens capable of self-government as well as properly motivated public servants so essential for a successful republic." The national 2016 Republican Party platform follows Indiana's previous language, stating, "Traditional marriage and family based on marriage between one man and one woman is the foundation for a free society and has for millennia been entrusted with rearing children and instilling cultural values." The national 2018 Republican Party platform has not been released. Now, this is an old article. Sorry. This is from June 5th, 2018. I actually just noticed that. I'd be interested to see what the current one is. I actually need to look that up and see, because the group calls the proposed changes unfortunate and misguided and calls on GOP leadership to, quote, "reconsider their insistence on changes in wording." It also says the change would distance the Republican Party from the, quote, "key conservative voting base in Indiana." The Republican Victory Committee includes conservative attorney Jim Bopp, more than 24 state lawmakers, U.S. Reps Todd Rokita and Jim Banks, and Rex Early, the 2016 Indiana chairman of the Trump-Pence campaign. All are listed as supporters of preserving the 2016 platform language. Did they change it? Let's find out. Indiana Republican platform, party platform. There it is. Let's see. 2018. I wish they had, I don't see 2020. Let's see if we're going to add 2020 to this. There's the state convention. Talks about statewide candidates. Anybody have a link? Let's take a look. Here's the 2018. They probably haven't changed it since 2018, but let's, now that we have it, platform link. Do you see this? People, what it, or is that an R? No, that's an M. Whatever. Come on. So let's take a look. Preamble. nation's capital, at these blah, 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 core beliefs, free and fair election, open and transparent government. I'm looking. Anybody know if they actually changed it? So here it is. They kept it. They kept it. We believe that strong families based on marriage between a man and a woman are the foundation of society. We also recognize that some families are much more diverse, and we support the blended families, grandparents, guardians, single parents, and loving adults who successfully raise and nurture children to reach their full potential every day. Okay. What do you think of that one? Do you like it? You think we're should have left it alone? Do you think it's good to address it? I'm curious as to the way you feel about it. Yeah, Stephen, I know. Look, I'm going to address something. I've talked to a couple of people who were like, "Are you going to jump behind Leva and support him?" I'm going to tell you, and this applies across the board. I'm not going to work harder for someone to get elected than they're willing to work for themselves. I'm going to leave it at that. I spoke to Leva the day after the election, and I was really honestly, I was hoping that he would say, "Look, man, I know we have the. I know I didn't work in the primary. I won on name recognition, but moving forward, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to bust my butt, and we're going to flip this red." Had he done that, okay, man. All right, bet. Let's do this. He didn't. He didn't. He was very much a, let's put it this way. He gave me no indication that he was going to work hard moving forward. I am not going to work harder than a candidate is themselves. It is not my job to get you elected. It is not my job to knock doors on your behalf. It is not my. I was going to go knock doors with the guy in Michigan City before I even announced. Right, I was going to get with him and go knock doors, introduce him around Michigan City, help him because let's face it, he had run a bunch of times. He had name recognition, but it is what it is. So Dave, yeah, okay, Dave. He says, I'm good at that wording. There are lots of good families in many different styles. I agree. Just because, and I'm gonna say this too. I think our adoption laws need a lot of work. There are some issues with adoption. There was actually an article. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I thought it was sent to me, but now I'm not sure. There was actually an article talking about how, yeah, I don't have it. Okay. But I'll do one on that another time, but I forget what state it is, but apparently they're talking about federal funding for adoption agencies, but those adoption agencies are able to decide who they help and who they don't based on religious beliefs. First of all, why is there federal funding for abortion and not federal funding for adoption or things like that? Why is there so much animosity towards those who would like to stop killing of babies, but not towards those who want to continue it? The whole world is like upside down, right? It's inside out, upside down world. Walter, good to see you. Okay, thank you. Jack says federal government got involved with marriage in 1913, 107 years ago. It's a new concept in law, and it really is. I mean, as far as law goes, right? So the whole disbanding the police department in Minneapolis thing, kind of to make it full circle. What do you think this is going to mean as far as county, right? Because county, we still have the sheriff, And there are those who believe that the sheriff is the only one with any real power anyway. I'm not going to go down that road as far as like sovereign citizen and all of that. But how's that going to affect community policing on that level and just policing in general? Because you have in general the city police department that assists county, and then county assists state. You're right. Walter says socialism has no room for God. You're absolutely correct. And it is one thing that I think that has been used to divide people, make people feel ashamed, things like that. Because obviously, right? Obviously, if you don't want everybody to have everything, then you're a bad person. There's no understanding of economics. There's no understanding of the countless socialist and communist regimes all across our history that were downright evil. We don't need to look any further than Stalin. Look at Stalin's communist regime. He was responsible for millions and millions of his own people, right? Dying. He starved them to death. It never ceases to amaze me. And granted, it always kills me because look, I'm no fan of the 1930s and early 40s Germany. Let's be very clear. I can't say that stuff because all these ridiculous anti-free speech rules on these platforms. But Stalin was responsible for far more deaths of his own people. But somehow he's not the boogeyman that everyone turns to. He's not the boogeyman that is lifted and said, don't be like him. No, that's reserved for someone else. People need to understand how this is a concerted effort to destroy our country from the inside. External invasion will not work, right? They know that America, what did the Japanese general say? Yamamoto, I could be wrong on that. There's a blade of grass behind, or there's a gun behind every blade of grass, right? Because of our Second Amendment. Other countries are absolutely terrified of the people of the United States. Let's move the military aside. Our military force is awesome, right? They are the best, I feel, in the world. They have the best equipment, the best training. Move all that aside. Potential invaders are scared of you and me. Are the people who have every intention of exercising our Second Amendment were we to be under attack. Stephen, you're absolutely right. He says it's disgusting to see my own friends fall for this socialism crap. My parents escaped socialist Yugoslavia, and now it's on our own. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Eastern Bloc was absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. And there were countries that were brutalized, destroyed, decimated by communism and socialism. And you know what it is? I'll tell you, it comes down to what a big part of it is these lefty professors that get in their classroom and I look at the video out of the many videos that what's the name? The Veritas, Project Veritas. I knew it was a V, but I couldn't remember what it was. That Project Veritas released. The crazy guys that worked for Bernie Sanders, right? We're talking about how, the gulags weren't that bad. Where do you think they get these ideas from? Where do you think this stuff comes from? It comes from these liberal professors that are teaching their students, it wasn't that bad. There's this big conspiracy going on to tell you it was horrible when it's really not. Really? Seriously? The gulags made our prison system look amazing. How do I know this? Because I worked in our prison system. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. It is far from perfect. But I will tell you that I treated people there like human beings. And the vast majority of correctional officers that work there do the same as me. Treat people firm, fair, consistent. The Gulag didn't care. They didn't care that you were a human being. I saw that and I'm like, there's no way he actually believes that. He does. He does. And it's just one aspect. There are again, a concerted effort to turn this country in on itself, to take the true believers, right? The people that could be forces for good and change, the people that could really go on to do great things and corrupt their minds. They've got the drive already. The drive's in there. It's just they take what this person would have been fighting for had they had the truth, and they fill it full of falsehoods and audio clips to drive them to fight for something that's not in their best interests. And they don't understand that. We see it all across the country, all across the world. And anyone who thinks that these protests, right? Let me be very clear. Protesting is our right. Riots are not. Yeah, exactly, Walter, exactly. Look, there are people that are actively working against the greater good of this country, and I'm going to tell you, we have these spoiled Hollywood actors and actresses that are getting on Twitter, that are giving money to get people bailed out of jail for rioting. It blows my mind. Like, seriously, here, for those of you, I'm sure you're all aware of it, but I'm going to show you anyway. Hollywood offers. Not sure what it'll. There we go. Yeah, Hollywood Reporter. This is from May. And this is, let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with protesting. I support your right to protest, but there is a big difference between protesting and rioting. Hollywood figures begin donating to bail out Minneapolis protesters. Seth Rogen, Steve Carell, and Ben Schwartz are among those who say they made a donation. Peaceful protests turned into rioting and looting Wednesday night in Minneapolis, and we all know what happened, but there are people that are donating money to bail rioters out of jail. If it was just protesters whose rights were violated, I'd be all for that, right? All for that. But rioting is not a protected right. So, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Walter says university indoctrination, and you're absolutely right. We've talked about that before. I've shown you articles that they're less than 20% of college professors consider themselves Republicans. Less than 20%. Over 70% consider themselves Democrats or progressives. It's insane. First of all, I don't think that politics should be in the classroom at all. But if you just do a little research, look into this, look up what this person, their child, if I want to remember, make sure I got it right. Their child was taking a Black History course, right? In the Black History course, this person was pushing another agenda, a hard agenda. I can't remember the details of it. I'll see if I can find it another time for you, because this is when everything had gone to online, right? Now, remember, we can't see what's happening when our child goes off into these classrooms to get, brainwashed, taught by these professors. And when they had to do it online, all of a sudden, a lot of these parents got to see firsthand what these professors were doing. As a matter of fact, there was an article that was written that was like all these professors were suddenly worried that their agenda would be revealed, and it was in many cases. Steven says, one of my friends is for the rioting, especially after watching this documentary called 13th on Netflix. I actually saw that. It seems like the DNC, Hollywood, and the media are all working together to bring this country to its knees. They are. They are. There is definitive collusion between Hollywood, DNC, and the media. The DNC pretty much controls what the media puts out. The mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC. I'll tell you, for those of you who have grown up watching Fox News right after it was started, and it turned into something that for a long time presented good quality information. It got more, slanted over the years. But the reason Fox News even got started was because there was this huge trend of lefty news, of control the narrative, right? Have you looked at the numbers? Be very wary when it comes to Fox News nowadays, because when they brought Donna Brazil on, seriously, then you have Paul Ryan, who's on the board now. Nah, something's up. Yeah, Chris says got a new TV, and then they're bail covered. Where do I sign up? Right? Where's the downside? They're telling them go out, riot, destroy stuff. Yeah, Walter says starts in grade school. It does. And that's something that I felt was really important, was what are these teachers teaching to our children? Because most conservatives don't go out and get a teaching degree. As a matter of fact, let me show you something. Last thing for tonight. Give me just a moment so I can find it. I think you're going to want to see this. Have you seen? Now, I don't know how accurate this is. I don't know if it's true. I want to make sure that you understand that, but there is some really good information here, and I do believe it. I absolutely believe it. It is the Antifa manual, right? The Antifa manual. Let me see if I can get. Oh, it's on the wrong. I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. Let me switch. Come on. Where's it at? Where's it at? I just had it. I just got to get it back on this one. There it is. Okay, let's see here. Have you seen this? Now, it's not supposed to get shared. The actual the thing itself says here you go. Do not distribute to any cis white males, non-POC, non-LGBTQ peoples, aka fascists, right? Fascists. So hold on. It's out of order, unfortunately. I don't know why that is. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Introduction. All right. Give me just a second. I gotta go take care of something. I'll give you a chance to look at that. I'll be right back.
Sup?
What?
Just
Okay. Go. It's all right. Okay. Sorry about that. So I don't know if you can actually see it very well or not, but I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Introduction. If you are reading this, it's because someone close to our movement trusted you with it. Please do not distribute to anyone who may attempt to harm or denigrate what we are doing. This is an anti-fascist, or I've heard it called Antifa, I've heard it called Antifa, whatever. If you are reading this, you already know that we are a social justice movement against hatred, intolerance, and bigotry. This manual outlines what we've been, where we're at, and where we're headed within the next 100 years. Now, I'm not going to go through all this. I'm more than happy to send this to anyone if you want it. But here's the specific thing that I want to share with you out of this. Phase 4, one world government, right? We already know that that's their plan. But here it is right here. Let me find exactly where it is. It's essentially, it tells them, yes, here it is right here on, let's see. After control the media, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth paragraph down. Many of us first learned about Antifa and gained our views on college campuses and universities across the country. This needs to start earlier. Take up teaching as a profession. Educate the youth about the dangers of fascism. Befriend those vulnerable students who you suspect of having fascist-leaning parents. Teach little Timmy not just how to read good, but also how to think and act good. It's all here, and it all makes perfect sense for them. It shows this is their plan the whole time. Again, more than happy to share this with anyone who wants it. It was sent to me. Again, I have no way of verifying the veracity of it, but it does make sense. I think it's making the rounds. Project Veritas also did a video on exposing Antifa, and there's a lot of good information in that as well. They specifically concentrated on Rose City, Antifa, whatever you want to call it, and there's some really disturbing things that are going on there. So let me give you a real quick about what we're planning with the show. I'm trying to get some guests on. I actually, oh man, I'm so disappointed. I had, I don't know if you guys know who John McAfee is, but he is a very rich, very eccentric guy. He created McAfee Antivirus, and he's also a staunch conservative. He actually put out that he's tired of dealing with the mainstream media. They don't want to listen, and he's willing to come on podcasts. So I'm like, ooh. So I reached out, and there's a list of criteria, right? One of them I do not meet. All the rest I meet, but they want your podcast has to have been around for at least 9 months. Mine has not been around 9 months. I meet all the other criteria. I was like, oh man, because that would be awesome. It is what it is. Timothy says 50 Hellcat Chargers and Trackhawks were stolen from a Dodge dealer in California. Over $3.5 million in vehicles destroyed. Cops won't look for cars. They are dealing with violence. Yeah, that's the thing. When you have all these people destroying your city, they're not going to spend a lot of time looking for, theft and regular property crimes. They have to protect the city. And that goes, deep. But what I'd like to see, at least from the podcast, I'd like to start having guests on that can give more information. I have great news. It is not set up yet. I don't have a definitive date because the gentleman is going to be going out of town. But when he gets back, I'm going to have a veritable financial genius on who can talk to us about. Sure.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's going to be able to talk to us about the Fed, about gold-backed currency, the thing that I had talked about before. He's going to be able to come on. He changed jobs. He has a list of things that he can't talk about because the industry is regulated, but the things that I want to talk to him about are not on this list of banned things. So I'd like him to explain, because he's of the opinion that the Be having gold back current that backward. I don't know. I'm going to let him explain it to you, but we're going to see where he stands on a lot of things. And he's a smart guy. My wife has known him for a very long time. Yes, absolutely. And that's another thing. You guys can sit and listen to me all day. You know how I feel about things, but I want to get people from all different backgrounds. I want to get people from all different walks of life on, so you can hear from them too. It wasn't a publicity stunt having on, the libertarian candidate for governor. It's because I truly wanted to hear what he has to say and had you hear from him as well. As long as people can keep it civil, as long as they can have differing viewpoints, I'm all for having people from all across the political spectrum on my show, and it'll give us a chance to talk, give you guys and ladies and gentlemen a chance to interact with them via chat. I think it'll be good. So that's it for today, but we are definitively moving forward as far as the show goes. I'm trying to get everything ported over. I think it's going to turn into something really, really good. I think it's good now, but there's room for improvement. There's things we can do. I want to work on like an intro and an outro and all that stuff. And I'll tell you politically what's going on as soon as I know for sure. We're working on some things. Let's just put it this way. I may not be done with running for office. I put it this way. I know I'm not done. I just don't know in the short term what I'm going to be doing. But I think we need more people to stand up. I think we need a lot more people to say, hey, I'm a voice of reason, right? Why should you not run for office? Why shouldn't you? Think about it. I am sure that all of you have wonderful qualities that you could bring to an elected position. The people generally, that is an idea, Chris. Chris says, have your kids reword Wayne's World theme to Dion's World. I don't know if it would flow quite as well, but Dion's World, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. We're still working on some ideas. I think it has potential. I really wish I could have got McAfee on, but maybe once I've been on the air for a while. It's only been, I don't know, just a couple months, not nearly 9 months. So, oh well. But we're going to start doing the daily stream again. We're going to keep working on branding and stuff like that. So yeah, Bongino. Heck yeah. I love Bongino. There's some good stuff there. I hope Bongino gets them on, but it is what it is. Thanks everybody again. And big things are coming. So, just, if you know of someone that wants to help or can improve if I can improve any aspects of the podcast, by all means, show, whatever you want to call this thing, let me know. And right, yeah, that's true. If you round up, yeah, it is what it is. So true. But with that, I will see you tomorrow. God bless you, and God bless the USA.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.